Oh, I saw me. I'm here by myself. So I can see Roderick. Hi. Is Jan going to rejoin? Is Jan going to rejoin? Hi. So I don't know what happened there. It turned out that I looked over my shoulder and the router had decided to restart for some reason. So I reckon it decided to update, which it happens. So Jan's not here at the moment. He may join back in. I'm not sure. He probably has scampered off to go have his dinner. But thank you everybody for joining us this week, and thank you for staying on for this sign off. I suppose. Did anybody have any questions whilst I'm still around? Hopefully, I'll be able to answer anything. I won't stay around for too long, and the internet might cut me off again. Who knows? But I am back for the moment. So if you've got any questions, do ask away, and I will just see if Jan is able to pop back again. He might not, of course. So I've pinged a message off to Jan. Do a behind the scenes. Ooh, what behind the scenes do you want to see? I mean, kind of is a behind the scenes every week, really, isn't it? It's just one of those things. Yeah, I honestly don't know what happened with the internet. I'm just having a quick system log look if it tells me anything. All I know is I turned around and my router had restarted, which is obviously no good during a stream. I'll have to have a look and see. Oh, I can save that and then search it. There we go. Awesome. So, yes, if there's anything else that you want to see, let us know. Otherwise, I'm going to jet off. What's your setup look like? How do I do that easily? So, I've got a mess on my desk. I can't pick up this camera. It's not a web camera, it's actually attached to an arm. So, just picking it up would be, I'll just do that for the moment. Over here, I have that's that big tool IKEA unit thingy. I actually got that for my 3D printer, which is still in a box after moving, but it's supposed to be on that top shelf. It's not at the moment, but I will have my 3D printer there at some point. How many monitors do I use? Does it have to be connected to the same computer? Because there's a monitor just there. My laptop usually sits on that stand there, but I've got another laptop over there that the editor uses with another monitor. So at the moment, Roderick, I have two 16:9 monitors in front of me, just here. And then I also have a display tablet down below. I don't use that all the time, but if I'm doing anything in Blender that requires a display tablet with the good old stylus, one of these guys, I can draw on that and I can actually see the screen as well. It's going to come in a lot of use when I do the sculpting part of the Blender Creative Series. The other thing that I've only got 4 outputs from my graphics card, and obviously that's 3 of them. The last one actually goes back into the computer so that when I'm recording my screen capture, it is exactly what I see. I've had no end of issues with OBS not displaying like a cursor, or when I was using Camtasia with certain software, the cursor would again disappear. It always seems to be like the cursor, it's like an overlay within Windows or however it's working. And so, yeah, I've only got those 4 outputs. I have got another graphics card in my computer with the intent of setting up another monitor, but I think one broke in the house, so I had to move it over the other side. But I would my preference is 3 monitors, especially when doing recording work or anything along those lines. I use OBS to stream, to record, and everything along those lines. And one of the you can bring a mirror. Actually, I have got a mirror, but it might fall apart. Hold on a second. This might not work at all, but I'm up for a laugh. Now, oh, I need to put this back on. This is going to go horribly wrong. Right, pop these back on. Why do I need to put these on? Jan's not around. I'm just listening to myself. And yes, this is falling to pieces. That bit is just fallen off, and it's weighted so it flips the other way. So, how's this going to work? There we go. That doesn't really work. Hey, it's my face. So yeah, there's one monitor. Ow, there's another. There's you guys chatting. That doesn't really work. I need a bigger mirror. More mirrors. But yes, I pretty much sit here. This is where I spend most of my days. Can you demo your 3D printer when you set it up? Yes, I will. I might just leave it in the background, just doing stuff whenever I'm recording. So, on a long video as I'm recording a course, I'll often just sit down and record, and that can just be whirring away in the background. But I'm not sure how noisy it is, and whether this will be able to capture the sound without also the printer whirring away. Last time I checked, they can be quite loud. I can't remember how loud my one is, unfortunately. So it might just be too loud to record with. But yeah, I definitely want to show people about 3D printing. I went for a resin printer for the quality. The only thing I would say about that was that it can be a little bit messy, but I didn't realize at the time that you could leave the resin in the resin pool. You don't have to empty it every single time, and that was the thing that was really bugging me. But as long as you strain it out of all the bits, etc., you can keep it in the pool as long as it doesn't come in contact with sunlight. Not indefinitely, but between prints, if you're printing every other day or something big and detailed. So the printer that I've got, I think it does about that size, about my head. No, it won't do my head. My head's big. Um, but yeah, I've certainly set up like a web. I want to set up a webcam to watch it anyway, because prints with an SLA printer or a resin printer, they take the same time for each individual layer, which means that it matters how many layers your actual print has. Whereas a FDM printer, the ones with the plastic spools, they take as long as they've got material to deposit, and obviously the transit speed of the head across the plate and as it's building stuff up. So that's more about the amount of material you've got, whereas an SLA printer, it's just the individual layers as it's printing them. So if you've got 500 layers, it's going to take 500 layers worth of time, regardless of how much material is being cured. Of course, then you've got the messy stuff afterwards. So with an SLA printer, with the resin, you're supposed to clean it in isopropyl alcohol and then cure it. I didn't do that for the first couple. You want to, otherwise you get a very uneven surface, as some of the resin is stuck to the material still after it's been cured. So yeah, I don't think the mirror actually helped. Oh, one thing you asked about setup. In terms of lighting at the moment, you probably noticed I haven't bothered using a green screen, and that was because it was such a pain in the backside to try and set up. And this desk wasn't originally here, and now it's kind of behind me. I can't put the green screen in there, so there's a practical thing about that. But lighting, I've actually got two hue lamps at the moment that I can change the color of. So one of them I've got to a light blue, and the other one is more of a yellow to give that amber and teal thing. And you probably see just at the top here, we have uh, a glow in the top of the screen. I should do that. It's over there. That's just to backlight me, and that separates me from whatever's in the background over there. So yeah. Any other questions? I'm just going to read my logs whilst go through that. Any Blender questions? Just fire away. I'm happy to hang around and chat for a bit. That's also absolutely fine. So I'm gonna just have a look at these logs, because I'm interested in what caused me to lose internet. Oh, lots of errors. That was on March 5th, though. Oh, the log goes back quite a way. Yeah, I'm hopefully going to get new internet soon, which should be absolutely amazing. One of the issues with the internet that I've got at the moment is there are 7 people in our house, so everybody tends to leave at the moment. Almost everybody when I need to stream, because if all you need is a Netflix film or something like that in order to zap up all the bandwidth, and suddenly you get a jerky stream. We've had some of those issues in the past. I don't know what any of these errors mean, but there was a lot of failures. Restart firewall. I wonder what caused it to reboot. It'd been hilarious if it was like a firmware update. So yeah. So hopefully soon I'm going to go from 80 down and 20 up to 900 down and 450 up. We got a Blender question. It depends how you're doing your animations, Todd. So the question is, in Blender, do animations always need to be assigned to a fake user, or is there a better way? Have I got a project I can pull up that has animations in them? In short, yes, you should always make sure you protect your work. And I'm not sure in Blender 3.4 whether or not we have I'm trying to think of the name. I'm just going through my drives at the moment as well to try and find Aria, because she's the one with a ton of animations. Just need to find out where I've stuck her. Is she in this folder? So yeah, fake users are one of those really I suppose annoying parts of Blender. I understand why they have them, but for a beginner it can be quite hard to wrap your head around, because if you don't assign something a fake user and then it's not assigned to an actual thing, you end up very quickly um with it not working properly. I think I found her. Let's have a look. Does this have animations in it? It does. Excellent. So I'm just going to switch my screen. I've moved all my stuff after the end of the stream. Doop. There's a small head. Do we get to see the main screen? No. Okay. So you might remember Aria, who we'll be modeling at some point and animating. Under the animation workspace, I tend to use actions. Action editor. There we go. Now, do we have where's the NLA editor? They moved it. As I say, it's been a while since I've been in here. I think it was early Blender 3, non-linear animation. So I tend to do all of my animations in the non-linear editor these days. It means that it's much easier to make these animations. Is that the run loop? How do we trigger the run loop at the moment? Um, but yes, having them in here is much easier than having them on a long line, which is traditionally like the older way of doing things. I use the NLA editor. Then you can export all of these individually, and obviously that's what we want in the game engine, for all of these to come through as discrete animations that can be picked. Otherwise, you end up in this horrible position where you've got to remember. It's fine as a solo developer. You go, oh well, this walk animation was from frame 0 to frame 20, and so forth. But if you're ever working in a team, all it takes is you to change that animation to be slightly longer or slightly shorter, and suddenly you have to update everybody as to where that animation is. And of course, with if you are just slicing up a really long, let's say 500 frame animation into different sections, if you change any of that, then you've got to change where those slicing points are, and that can cause a real headache. So yeah, I prefer the non-linear editor for sorting out my animations. In which case, I'm not sure if you need to give them a fake user or not. It's a good question, though. Just having a quick look through here. Lost it. Action editor. Non-linear. Yeah. I would say work through the non-linear workflow if I think that's what NLA. Yeah. Oh, it's actually called non-linear animation. Yep. I'd work through that way of using animations in Blender rather than trying to I switch back screen. Does that work? Will that switch me over? I'm just pressing buttons on my Stream Deck. Yes, it does still work. Yes, so I'd work in the non-linear editor and add your animations in here. Unless you're well, I don't know. One of the good things about this editor as well is you can sort of morph between different animations, which is incredibly useful. So if you wanted your character to be running and then slow to a walk, then you could do that easily by blending between several different animations within this editor, which is incredibly powerful, as you can imagine. but that's more advanced animation than what we'll be covering in any beginner stuff. That's for sure. That was a bit of a long ramble. I apologize for that, but hopefully that answers your question there. Back to me. Yeah. Do we have any more questions? Oh, Roderick, neighborhood tour. Not at the moment. It's incredibly, incredibly windy at the moment. We actually ended up with a branch that's gone into a summer house and broken. Well, it's broken off the tree. It's probably damaged the roof. We've also had guttering come loose. So no, I'm not going outside at the moment. It's too windy. And trying to get me outside on a good day is bad enough. I'm afraid I'm very much I'm going to stay home. Yeah, no problem, Todd. Yeah, using actions and using the non-linear screen, that's a good way of just categorizing your animations, if nothing else. And I'll have to practice with this again. I've not seriously not had the time to go back into it since I was animating Aria. So yeah, and things have changed a little. There've been several big updates to Blender and its animations, and I can't tell you them all at the moment because it's not fresh in mind. It's one of the downsides of live streaming, isn't it? Live streaming? Yeah, this could be a live stream. Why not? Does anybody else have any questions? According to the stats here, there are 6 of you. Some people came back to watch me ramble on. Maybe someone's left. Don't leave. Well, actually, yeah, you can leave unless you've got any other questions. I will put a cap on how long I'm going to stay, though. Unless there's any other questions, I'm going to jet off in a couple of minutes. I'm just having a look down the chat here to see whether or not there are any other questions that I've missed. Yep, bring a mirror, done that. Demo of your 3D printer, whenever I get it set up. Hi, Mark. So that's who the new person was that joined. 3D printing, yep, neighborhood tour. Yeah, I'm not going to go around the neighborhood. I think it'd be a bit weird taking a camera out into the neighborhood as well. Yeah, a bit weird. So, yeah, I'm gonna call it there, guys. Thanks for hanging around for the after party. Whoop whoop. And yeah, I'll catch you next week. I don't know if we've got a specific topic next week, but check out the Discord and we'll let you guys know. And there's no press it from Jan, so I'm just gonna press it and say goodbye. Bye.